I guess we're all doing better than Diddy. Oh, what a week. All right, if you don't know, I'll try to bring you up to speed very quickly. Basically, Diddy has been the devil for decades. And it's really only this year that everything's sort of coming to roost, right? It sort of started with a lawsuit brought by his ex-girlfriend, Cassie. And, in the lawsuit is detailing horrific things you will not, you will feel sick if you read the lawsuit. And Diddy said it was all a lie. Just nothing but disgusting lies about his character, and he settled the lawsuit the next day. I don't know about you, but I've never been lied on so hard that I was like, you better stop lying about me. I will pay you as much as you want for you to stop telling me all the stuff I supposedly did. I want to make sure that this is, how much does the check need to be? It won't be in escrow. It'll be in a check form in the morning. But I will pay you as much as it takes for you to stop lying before people start looking into what you said because everybody else is saying it. Well, no, it's crazy. And even more recently, more allegations and more investigations have been going into Diddy being alleged. Legally, you have to say it. Being an alleged sex trafficker and everything, to the point where, this week, the FBI raided all of his houses at once, just to make sure, every single one at the same time, make sure he wasn't house hopping or anything, just going everywhere. They grabbed all the homes and the homies and they pulled everybody outside, and it was truly astounding to watch, because if you've ever watched, I watch a lot of news, so I remember the Roger Stone raid. Anytime the FBI or Homeland Security does a raid, it's a weird hierarchy that you notice, because they'll show up to do the raid, right? So FBI or Homeland Security, they'll be fitted up, right? Top to bottom, they got the AR-15, they got the vest on, full body armor, they got the boots, they got the helmet, and then sometimes they actually have backup. Backup is SWAT. So then SWAT is also there dressed like SWAT, and we know what SWAT is dressed like. And then it will just be the regular police. And it kind of made me feel bad for the local police, because imagine you show up to work and all your coworkers look like Call of Duty that day. And you just have to show up with your chest. That's unfair to them. If I was a cop, I'd be like, y'all ain't got any extra ARs in the trunk or anything. I can't hold something. Y'all just showed up all prepared. Y'all said he dangerous. You know what? I'm gonna wait next to the car. That's what I'm gonna do. Y'all, this is bull. I'm not doing. And truly, watch any FBI raid. All the local police are next to the cars in the street. They're like, no, they gonna get him. They gonna get him. Oh, you better watch out, because they coming. All right. But yeah. They raided all that dude's houses at one time, pulled people out, were interrogating people, were trying to look for stuff in the houses. And meanwhile, a lot of people have been waiting on Diddy's downfall for a long time, so they track his movements. And I want to take a quick second, because a lot of people, as this is mainly a black thing, knowing about Diddy. It feels like the world didn't know. But black people, we knew. We were like, nah. Something happening with him that seems off. I don't know if I love that either. That's just been us for 2 decades with Diddy just being like, did y'all see that? You know what I mean? And so a lot of other people are catching up. So then there are things, when anything like this comes out, there are things where people ask, why is everybody talking about it now, coming forward now, stuff like that. I want to be clear. Diddy is not like a Harvey Weinstein in that way, right? Because with Harvey Weinstein, everyone started coming forward, and then people were like, why didn't y'all say something sooner? Look at him. We would have believed you. Like, we don't do a good enough job of believing women, but with Harvey, I'd be like, whatever y'all say he did, he did. I can just see it from his build that he did whatever. But Diddy's a very different thing. Diddy's scary. A lot of people are scared of Diddy. And you want to know one of the reasons why people are scared of Diddy? Because of where he comes from. There's gangsters, then there's gangsters. Okay? Diddy's dad has ties to Frank Lucas. If you don't know Frank Lucas is who Denzel played in American Gangster. That's who Diddy's dad hung out with. That's who Diddy's dad did business with. So when you ever rewatch American Gangster and you see that scene when Frank Lucas, Denzel, stands up and in the middle, broad daylight, middle of the sidewalk, a dude disrespects him and he pulls out a gun and he shoots him in the head and kills him in front of everybody because he knows nobody will say anything. That's who Diddy's dad ran with, right? That's who taught him his like ABCs and stuff. You know what I mean? When you see that scene, that's a bone-chilling scene because it happened. That happened. He did that. He killed someone broad daylight because he knew no one around would say anything, right? So when you see that scene and you see Denzel do that, just know that one of the extras in the background, at least one of those kids, is Diddy. That's terrific, you know? And that's why people are getting so scared of him, because we know that he just moves differently, you know what I mean? And a lot of people have been waiting on his downfall for a long time. So when the FBI was raiding, people were like, where is Diddy? And you know how these kids are now? They're very smart. They can track anything. They track Diddy's plane. And so while the FBI is raiding all of his homes at one time, Diddy's plane is leaving America. And I don't mean getting fueled up. I mean, the plane is over just blue. That's the ocean. The plane is gone, right? And the plane is headed for Antigua. Now, Antigua is still extradited. So a lot of people are like, why would he be going over to Antigua? Then other people said, hey, maybe he's landing in Antigua because everybody knows that's his plane. He's going to land in Antigua. He's going to get on a friend's smaller plane, and he's going to go to a country that doesn't extradite, like Bali, right? So then that plane lands in Antigua, it comes right back. When it lands, turns out Diddy was never on the plane. He was in Miami the whole time. This man is a terrible rapper and an incredible villain. I've been thrown for a loop consistently with him. Like, this man should be in a James Bond movie. You know, a lot of people are just waking up to how Diddy is, you know? We knew. You know how you know that we knew? Diddy's the only black billionaire we didn't root for. It's a very big deal when you get a black billionaire. We're always like, oh, yeah, we did it. You know, I remember when that guy, you know that guy that gave the commencement speech at Morehouse, and at the end of the speech, he said he was going to pay for all the kids' student loans. That moment went viral. It was crazy. Kids were crying and everything, jumping up, screaming. I looked it up. I found the guy. His name was Robert Smith. Turns out he's a billionaire. He didn't give me any money, but I was at home like, we got another one. Diddy became a billionaire. We were like, good for you. I don't know about y'all, but I absolutely love when home drama spills out into the world. You know what I mean? I don't watch a lot of reality television, so I love when a real life couple just can't take it anymore. You know what I mean? Like they have to have it out, and they have to have it out now. And now is here. And here is where I am. So I get a free show. You know? I think it happens a lot in New York City because we don't have space. Like, y'all have real homes here. Y'all can be like, we will discuss this later. In New York, we don't have that. We're like, I want to argue in private at home, but home don't have no elbow room. I want to argue where I can move a little bit because I'm passionate with my movements. Now, if I'm arguing at home, what time I was arguing at home, and I went like this to be like, oh, wait, just like to hold it up, and then I hit my elbow, and there's no way to look right when you just stand there like. So sometimes couples just have to have it out in that moment, And I was walking. I try to do this at least once a week. I was on a walk with no AirPods in, right? Just really like be around in the world, And I think it's an important thing to do because it opens you up to what's happening around you. And I would have missed this had I had my AirPods in. I was walking, and as I'm walking, I see this dude bust out of the door of his house, right? He's running down the stoop of his brownstone, no shirt on, anything, looking terrified, like, look. And so I turn and I see what I can only imagine is his girlfriend or wife running behind him. And I was like, all right, this seems awesome. Let's see how it goes. And she has something in her hand, but it doesn't look like a gun, so I'm like, I'm willing to stay and see this through. Because if it's a gun, people get upset, they miss. Now she done shot me, I'm bleeding out. I'm not even part of your love. I'm laying there holding my wound, y'all done worked it out. Like, this could all be for nothing. It's just she's holding something, but I can't see what it is, right? And as he's running down the stoop, she runs down with him, and she gets to this specific step, and then she goes like this, right? She goes like this, and then a piece of what she was holding flies out and hits him in the back, and he goes, and then she lets go of the other thing that she was holding. It slides down the stairs, and when it slides down, it's close enough for me to see. And when I look, it was the sleeve of a Hot Pocket. This woman done burned the hell out of this man with a Hot Pocket. In the known universe, there are about 4 states of matter, right? There's gas, there's liquid, and there's solid. There's also plasma. Now, plasma can reach a temperature of about 45,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and just under that. Close second is Hot Pocket juice. Hot Pocket juice must be studied. This will burn your soul. Hot Pocket juice is far too hot. It is absolute insanity, okay? Because we've all been there. We've all been there where you were hungry, you heat up the Hot Pocket, that's gonna be quick, and then you went ahead and you put it higher than the instructions say, because you know when you follow the instructions, the middle cold. So then, you put it at least 2 minutes higher than the instructions say because you got a different type of microwave. Your microwave doesn't work like the box says. And so you put an extra 2 minutes, but now we're into heated territory that no one, even the people at the company, are aware of, right? And then you pull the Hot Pocket out, you hold it by the sleeve, and you wouldn't even be in this situation if you could just be a gentleman and wait, right? But you're hungry, you're greedy, you can't help yourself, and so you blow, you do blow. You do. You give it a good try, too. You blowing the bread. You're not doing anything for that juice inside. That juice is still bubbling like lava. Waiting to bust out. And so then you take your first bite, and because you're hungry, because you're being greedy, you bite too hard, the juice pops out, it hits your lip, and you go, ah! Now you coughing because steam coming out of your mouth because you got the cornbread in your mouth with all the juice burning everything. Burning teeth, just burning. Inexplicably, just burning and burning and burning. It's terrible. This woman was running after this man. We don't know what he did. I didn't stay for an interview. This woman was running down the stairs after this man and had the Hot Pocket sleeve in her hand and reared back like an ancient weapon. Reared back. And flung the Hot Pocket out, flung it like she had done it before. Like, she must be burning him weekly to have this sort of aim. If this was a game show, I could never sling it and hit what I wanted to hit. And she hit, not only did she hit him in the middle of the back. She hit him in the spot, so it's in just enough of a position that he can't really reach it. Like it's not here, it's not here. Like this man is fighting for his life right now. She gave him 32nd degree burns. And my man's like, ah! And I want to help, but I'm like, I'm not gonna burn my fingers. Like, and then I had never stopped walking the entire time, but I did take off into a brisk jog. Because as he was holding the railing of his stoop, I saw her lift another Hot Pocket. I was like, let me leave before I witness a murder.
You ever go see a horror movie that's like about a creepy kid? Like the kid is haunted, like little kid is possessed, little kid like that kid, like, is it just me or is that kid never black? Never. But here's the thing, I think I know why. Because a black mom would beat that out immediately. Like if that were me in my house being like, red rum, red rum, red rum. My mom'd be like, where was that bass during choir practice? You want to get up in front of people and act shame, you need a scene like that there. Like, I don't even think a black mom would be scared. Like, she come home, everything's floating all poltergeist style, and she's like, okay, so you can make everything float, but you can't clean that room? You can't clean that room. No, I'm gonna be in there in 5 minutes. We'll see who haunted, okay?
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and tell a friend. That would be a huge help if you tell people about it. Sharing is great. There's like a share button, but if you tell people, they might click on it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Josh Johnson!
So I saw this video for this robot butler. There's a robot butler that you can buy and bring into your home if you've never watched a sci-fi film. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you just avoided all of them, if it's just not your genre, but you're like, oh, a whole robot. Yeah, let's get him in here. Give him access to all the knives. No, you can. You can do it now. You can order one. It's thousands of dollars. It's very expensive. You could get a robot in your home, do a bunch of like small tasks, chores, things you don't feel like doing. And it's just, it's a whole, it's a whole robot with like legs, arms, hands. They did everything. I don't know if they did toes, but it walks, and it just, the thing that freaks me out about this thing is that in the development along the way, I'm not saying every single company that develops every robot does the same thing, but you've seen the videos. Some of these videos have gone viral because every time they get closer to building a robot that has like perfect balance or is more, is either stronger or more adept at a task. Every time they do something like that, it goes viral. We see it. They cover it on like the morning news and stuff. And I just know that to get robots to this point where this robot is at now, that they don't just fall over, it took a long time. You used to see these robots where they, you know, tip, 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 tip. That's not fast enough. You're not going to get your stuff in a timely manner. You need them taking whole steps, and they take whole steps, but they didn't have good foot placement, so then they tip into the middle, they'd fall. And so then we started making ones where the whole purpose is that they can't fall, and the way we tested if they could fall or not was we did kick them. We did almost exclusively kick them. And not little taps either, not like a little hook. Here's a little trick for you. You would see people in the video walk up to the robot like, wow! And the only reason you didn't feel worse for the robot is it didn't have a face. This thing, it looked very sad, and there was one, okay, look, maybe I'm in my head about this. I swear when I was watching, okay, because you know that dog they made? They made like a dog first that couldn't fall, and I was like, so you just go kick a dog. I know it's a robot dog, but like still, you kick this dog and the dog got better and better at not falling, better and better at catching itself and everything, to the point where it got to where it would not fall. It couldn't fall, right? But beyond not being able to fall, they still, you know, they gotta run tests, and the tests were as sophisticated as bow, right? But there was this one time this dude ran up, kicked the robot dog, and the robot dog stumbled, and it's a millisecond. It's so short that I had to watch this video 3,000 times to make sure I actually saw what I saw. But like, and then for a split second, you saw it think about going like, but it didn't do it. It didn't do it. And I was like, yeah, but you've been kicking it for 1.5 years. You kicked its brother, you kicked its stepdad, like you kicked. And so now you take all that kicking history and you go ahead and put that into a robot in the home that can regular walk. I don't know how tall they are, but you get a robot in your home that's taller than you a fool, okay? I'm gonna tell you right now, if you gotta look up at your robot, you out your mind. If you yelling at your robot, I know you out of your mind if you over here, hey! That's insane. Because we also not polite. We've been taught to not be polite to the robot. That's been baked in now. I don't even know if you could, it would feel weird for you to be polite if you were polite. You know millions and millions of people every day say, hey Alexa, and you know what they don't say? Please. You wanna know how I know that? First Alexa experience I had, I didn't like it. Because it was in the house, but I didn't know where it was, so I was like, all right, so you just inviting the ghosts in then. You way too comfortable with ghosts, because sooner or later, because you don't know if your house haunted, so now you over here talking to Alexa all the time, then one day Alexa voice a little raspy, you don't even clock it. Now you in a whole murder house with a bad history and you don't even, you think, oh, it's malfunctioning, and you got a whole poltergeist going on, and you over here calling Amazon. And so then, I go over to my friend's house, and my friend's like, oh, hey, we got this new thing. If you want to play some music, just say, hey, Alexa, play whatever. And I was like, hey, I just didn't want to do it. And he was like, no, go ahead, give it a try. I was like, all right. Hey, Alexa, play Kendrick, please. And he was like, why did you say please like that? I was like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, this is weird. This doesn't feel weird to you? And he's like, no, it's not weird. It's future. I was like, all right. The future's uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I just don't think that's good practice for our interactions person to person. That every day you make demands of something without any courtesy, without any politeness, and then we wonder why people are like rude. You know what I mean? It's like more and more you're like, you get to the point where you're dealing with so much, whatever it is, you're dealing with so much AI, you're dealing with so many robots, and you start treating people like AI, like robots, like people who just sort of serve a function. You know, it's like I remember, you know, I was ordering some food, and they do this thing now just to make sure that you got your food when you do like, I think like everybody does. I think like Uber Eats, Grubhub, I think everybody does it now, where when they want it at the door. When someone says, I want it handed to me at the door, they have to take a picture, right? So then they take the picture, and it's usually just of the receipt of the bag, right? But then, you know, he's like, can I take a picture? I didn't know about this new policy. Like, I didn't know. And I'm not like, I want y'all to know, I don't think I'm like world famous or something, but he asked me if he wanted to can I take a picture? And I was like, oh yeah, sure. And so then I got next to him. And I felt so bad for him because he like truly didn't know what to do, because he was like, oh, like, I guess he didn't want to correct me. I guess he didn't want to be like, no, please stand away from me. I'm just gonna take a picture of you. Because it also does sound a little weird to be like, hey, I'm gonna take a picture of you, be still. Like, that is a little uncomfortable. But then I had already walked out the door, and I'm side to side with him, waiting for him to lift the phone. And then this sweet man, just to spare my feelings, turned it on selfie mode. It goes, can you lift the bag up for the picture? I felt yeah. But that is what's happening, is that we're getting to this place where most of our interactions are like so transactional, down to the point of just what the service is, that it doesn't feel like we're having a relationship with a person, even a person who's like doing you a service. So then, of course, maybe in people's minds, the next step would be for a robot to be there. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're doing it with Uber already. Uber switching to these driverless cars, these like Waymos, and it's like, to a certain degree, why wouldn't you? Because people get in their Uber and they don't want to talk to the driver. Maybe the driver doesn't want to talk to them either, and it's just okay. It's almost a similar experience, you know? It's just the butler thing is so much more off-putting, because it is, okay, it's too, I don't know, like, why'd they have to give it a regular body? That's uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even have like a, like, if it had looked like a Power Ranger, then maybe, because like, that's still a little too much like regular body, but just it having a regular body is just it is uncomfortable. And it comes in 3 colors. Comes in 3 colors. It comes in like tan, silver, and black. And like a deep black, like an onyx. It comes very black. That's not uncomfortable for anybody? That you can now buy a black? That feels awkward. Imagine you buy one of these Neo things, you buy one of these robots. And let's say it's doing all the tasks. Let's say it's really good. And then you invite one of your black friends over. And it's over here setting the table, not speaking. What are we doing? You could have picked silver. You could have had silver. Silver was an option the entire time. And you were like, no, but I would like black. I would actually enjoy it more. Didn't make white. Didn't even make like a fuchsia. And I'm sure you can trace the thinking down to like how people even like their phones. Like people, like that's like a thing with iPhone, like tan, silver, black, right? But this is different. This feels very different. This feel like when you see it, especially, especially you over here giving orders, not saying please, just. It's a bad look. And they do all this testing. You know what I mean? They do all this. I love product promotion for tech because then the people who made the tech usually want to do the product promotion. That's like a big thing that comes from, fair enough, the world of tech, but mainly like Steve Jobs. Like Steve Jobs is who we look back and we see, wow, the iPhone revolutionized social. Like social wasn't even really a thing and couldn't really become a thing without the way we use our phone. Like there were just these moments when he held up like an iPod, when he held up an iPhone, that you look back at as like, wow, these are like pivotal moments. And because these people are trying to be like him, even if they're not trying to be exactly like him, they also want those pivotal moments for their career. They want to look back and be enough of a trendsetter and be enough of like a social beacon in tech, in communication, that you can look back at their clip and they held something up or they stood next to something and then it changed the world. Like, I understand why that's enticing, but at the same time, you're not great talking to people. That's almost across the board. We've seen, you remember when Zuckerberg was all in on the metaverse, when he was pouring billions of dollars. The metaverse was going to be the future. The metaverse was going to be how we worked, how we played. It was going to be how we visited people and communicated. There was a vision for the metaverse. He spent billions and billions of dollars pouring it into the metaverse, even though it wasn't profitable, even though people weren't integrating it into their lives fast enough for what they were projecting as like people who had people to answer to, you know, shareholders to answer to and stuff like that. Like, he still went all in, and then he did that product rollout. Showing, and look. He tried. Mark Zuckerberg, if you're not aware, does do an imitation of like a person you would talk to. Like, it's almost good. He does as good of an imitation of like a regular person as he can, and then he tried to do that for the rollout. So the day came. He was going to showcase the metaverse, the way of the future, right? And he comes out and he does his best imitation of like a guy. You saw it. You can go back and watch it. He's like, hey, everyone. It's nice to be here today with you. I want to introduce you to the metaverse, and what better way than meeting the version of you that would be in the metaverse? Come on out, Mark. And then the metaverse like avatar of Mark Zuckerberg walks up and does a way better imitation of a guy. You know, because he's like, come on out, Mark. And then a Zuckerberg dressed exactly like him does walk up and go, How's it going? It's like, why don't you say hello to everyone? And you saw Metamark be like, what are you doing? You're making us look bad right now. Because these things are supposed to be the future, and you look at how we've been working our way up to this point. Because we're not talking about like a Roomba. You know, a Roomba. That felt like what future robots should be. Do you know what I mean? Just like doing the function. It's small, it gets into the little space. Every once in a while it like runs into the wall hard enough that you gotta just redirect it. Do you know what I mean? Like you feel like, okay, if your Roomba ever really like tried to square up. Do you know what I mean? Like if your Roomba was ever really feeling froggy one day and got some attitude with you could be like, okay, all right. Problem solved. I don't know why you built this full-on robot butler with knuckles. Full knuckles. Knuckles and like, okay. It's not like, I saw the back of the robot. And it's not, you remember action figures when you were a kid and how they were just sort of flat and the leg could just like perfectly go up and then down and then like perfectly up and then down? I don't know what the function is because once again, I'm not an engineer. I don't work in tech. I don't act like I'm smarter than any of these people, all right? All these people came together, made this robot. Look, you can make a robot, I can't make a robot. But turned around, this robot is like, it's not at a BBL level, but like this robot is like fully caked up. Like it has cheeks. It has cheeks that are like visible, but like that's just the robot. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it has cheeks and it's like wearing clothes. Like it's just the robot, which means y'all made the cheeks. Somebody made cheeks. That doesn't feel wild to anybody else that somebody made cheeks specifically. And then when they build a product like this, when you have a robot, when it's time to you building a robot, right? Everybody's gotta have something to do. Because you want to do everything, right? You want to walk, and you want to not fall over or bump into walls. Okay, get the kicking guy. Kicking guy is gonna make sure that your robot doesn't just fall over. He's gonna kick it 10,000 times, really make a friend. And then, you're gonna need somebody on head duty to make sure it like is going forward, not drooping, whatever. You gotta get somebody on neck, make sure it turns around and stuff. It just makes me wonder if this robot make me wonder if there was just somebody that they didn't trust with the math. They didn't trust with the math, so that they were like, hey, we'll let you design whatever part you want. And he got all excited and he came in on Monday. And he's like, I got perfect right here. And I guess nobody wanted to hurt his feelings. Over there in the boardroom talking about, I guess it's padding technically if it ever does fall, like in a disaster. And so then they sit this prototype out with like a real butt. Rest of it does not look real at all, by the way. This is crazy. It's crazy because then they have the person, whenever they do any product rollout, they do like a Q&A, or they do a test in front of an audience, or if it's like a pre-tape thing, they'll have somebody there asking questions that obviously the public would ask. And and so this person's asking questions like, how strong is it? And it's like, oh, it's very strong. It has all of this like power per square inch, however they measure it, right? And they gave it like, I don't know, was it a chestnut or a walnut or something like that, but they were like, can you go ahead and break this? Because, you know, once again, if you ever watched a sci-fi movie, that should be dust immediately. That should be, the robot should be able to be like, you know? And so they, you know, went ahead and gave the robot this nut to break, and the robot was like, and I didn't see it break it. I was like, all right, that actually puts me at a little bit of ease. Like, genuinely, it does. It's like, okay, you know, I thought for it to have fingers, it has palms, it has fingers, knuckles. It's nice to know that if the robot tried to punch you, it's gonna be like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of nice to know this robot can only kill you if you already dying. Do you know what I mean? Like, it could squeeze a pillow just enough. Because to a certain degree, this is supposed to be the future, right? The future is supposed to be as convenient as possible. Absolute convenience, so you get your time back, and so your life won't be as hard. Here's the thing, though. Like, I'm gonna stay on this thing probably for years, because products like this keep coming out. This is my thing. If you've ever met somebody who's had a very easy life, very convenient life, that has never really been through anything, has never had like an obstacle in their way, they almost always, without a doubt, suck. Like really bad. Like these are the worst people in the world. Like, when you meet them, you're like, that's terrible. That's terrible. And you find out because you're always there when the first thing that has ever happened to them happens to them. The first time anything has ever happened to them, it happens in front of you. And then you're like, all right, well, let's figure it out, because you've been through things. This doesn't even register for you. This is like a 5 for them on the Richter scale of an earthquake, and their life is over. You know what I mean? They got a flat tire. And life is over. They're not in the city right now, and they have a flat tire. What should they do? I guess they have to die here. See, they'd never really been through anything, and anything that almost happened to them, they got to ask their parents to take care of it, and their parents took care of it, or they just played dumb until somebody else did something about it. And now, in this moment, what a terrible career-ending day. You got a flat tire. What are you gonna do? What's the plan here? And they panic, They want to call their parents to do something about it, but their parents are... Yeah, I mean, their parents are... Like, you know... They want to call their parents, but they can't because their parents are vacationing in Greece. And so it's like, they might not even have service on the boat. Like, it's just... What am I gonna do? Never been through anything in their entire life. What am I gonna do? They look to you. And they're like, this has never happened before. This is the worst thing that's ever happened. We're on our way to vacation and catch a flat tire. What are we gonna do? And you're like, oh, do you have a spare? And you hear them say, is that what that is back there? I knew it came with the car, but I expected it to just turn on one day or something. It's just been back there not being a wheel this entire time. You know, and if they didn't have you there, I don't know what they would do. And so we want these lives of convenience. We want these lives where everything is out of our way, where nothing that we don't want to do takes up any time. But then what kind of person does that make you? I'm not saying it's fun to do all your chores or wait in line, but it is a human experience. This is your life, you know? Sometimes there are things that genuinely suck. I've been at the airport before for 36 hours. There was one time I was at the airport and I couldn't get out, and then here's the thing, if I decided to live there, I could have left. But I have been kept on such a Ferris wheel of mistakes, canceled flights, delayed flights, and just general annoying small tragedies that I just ended up staying in the airport. I almost slept at that airport twice, right? But at the same time, I had a lot of good experiences, even in that time, even when I was waiting. Turns out that airport did have pretty good food, so I ate very well for the few meals I could muster. Already a bathroom there. I can get adventurous. I'm just saying, sometimes people at airports will sell you like tiny spicy chicken or something like that, and you're like, all right, I'll just have it, not realize it. Like, it is spicy, and there is a bathroom on the plane, but like, traveling spicy hit different, you know what I mean? Like, it just, if you traveling spicy, it's doing something to your life you're not ready for. There's nothing like being in a car and you traveling spicy. And now you looking at exits. Every exit, you're like... No, you know when you traveling spicy, you gotta breathe it out. No, traveling spicy is very dangerous. And I was able to do it. But that's the thing, when things are happening that are inconvenient or even terrible, and they're happening, they're part of your life. You can either just hate your life, or you could be like, this is my life for a little while. You know? Anyone who always wants, this is gonna sound harsh, but just hear me out. Because I have friends who every single inconvenience, they just want to be over already. And I'm like, okay, but if you tried to speed run every single thing that ever happened that was not convenient, do you know how little life you would have? Your life would be over so quickly. Your life would be over if you were like, oh, I just want to get out of this conversation. I just want to get out of this. I just want to get out of this line. I just want to get out of this airport. I just want to. And you're missing your entire life. You know? Oh, I just want to get out of this conversation. What if they about to say something dope? You know what I mean? What if they're about to say something very cool? What if they're about to say, wow, you're such a good listener. Almost nobody listens to my stories. You want to chill at my vacation house? What if that was just about to happen? And now you can cut the thing short just because they were going on and on about whales. This is your life, you know? All of it is precious, even the inconvenient parts. Because that's the thing, that's all they can really sell you. They can sell you a little less inconvenience. They can't sell you ending your pain. They cannot sell you ending your loneliness. All of the things that matter, all the real things that are real struggles that people go through that actually end up making them very interesting people that you would want to get to know and spend time with. None of these tech people can cure that anyway. So then they're trying to sell you the little bit of convenience that maybe will make you feel like, oh, if I got all this time back, what does time back even mean? What does time back really mean? If you were at your home washing dishes, maybe, look, nobody likes washing dishes. I don't know if anybody likes washing dishes. It's old food, it's kind of nasty. You're like, what did I even have? What did I eat that sticks to the bowl like this? Because whatever that is in me. Is it sticking to me the way it's sticking to the bowl? That's crazy. I don't know if I'll ever get rid of this. If I can't get rid of the stain, then, ooh, my insides are stained right now. Sure. But I think it is such an important practice to appreciate all of these moments in your life. So often, we're trying to be distracted from the thing that if we focused on, we might enjoy. Because I'm not saying all of a sudden you'll love washing the dishes, but I think while you're washing the dishes and while you're sitting there thinking, maybe thinking about your day, maybe thinking about nothing, maybe thinking about the dishes, you could come potentially to an appreciation of the fact that you have a home. You have a home where you can cook your meals. You have dishes. You have dishes that you can use to serve your family, food that you worked for, that maybe something good can come of it, you know? Because this robot, I don't know, it's so expensive. It's so crazy expensive. Like, it's so much money. Why don't you just hire a person? You could hire a person. If you have robot money and you've never seen any sci-fi, still hire a person. You could watch movies with your butler. You could make that one of the jobs. I need you to do windows, floors, and hang out. Like, I do need a friend. I've been very lonely. It's incredibly important to not take for granted all those things that, even though they're inconvenient, they're a part of your life, you know? I've made friends doing things I didn't want to do. Like, there were moments where I was like, oh, this thing is taking up my time. Or maybe I'm delayed. You know, sometimes you get delayed, whether it's the train, it's the airport, you're waiting on a bus, you get delayed. And you don't want to be delayed. You want to get where you're going. That's why you want to go there. I understand. But everyone's delayed. It's the same problem everyone has. And everyone having the same problem is one of the fastest ways to build community. You know? Because now everybody's upset that you're delayed. And there's always that one person that isn't traveling with anyone. So they kick it off for everybody. Oh. I'm sure they seem upset. They seem upset. But I think they're having this outburst because they don't have anybody to turn to be like, can you believe? So then they turn to you. Can you believe? They turned to me and they were like, can you believe? And I was like, no, I do believe. Like, I don't think they would do it as a prank. Like, I do believe them when they say it's not here yet, because I also looked out the window and it's not here yet. And I don't think they, like, hide in it. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be a very bad prank to be like, we gonna tell them the flight not coming. You know how people love that, right? Like, that's one of my favorite things. I can't believe they didn't do that on Punk'd. I can't believe that Ashton Kutcher didn't delay a whole flight just so that people could be like, and then. No, it's fine. It's fine. It'll be okay. It'll be all right. And she was like, yeah, maybe if it gets here, it'll be all right. But it'll be all right. I was like, well, what is it? What's wrong? What's wrong? She's like, I have somewhere to be. I'm supposed to meet my grandbaby. I'm supposed to meet my grandbaby, right? And immediately I had more empathy for where she was coming from, because she wasn't just upset the flight was delayed because she likes being a problem. She is a grandbaby to me. I've never had a grandbaby to meet, but I imagine if I did, I would be in a hurry. I have a grandbaby to me. I was like, oh, really? You have a grandbaby? How old? And she's like, she was born 3 days ago. I was like, wow, 3 days ago, okay. It does sound like you got plenty of time to get over there, because 3 is, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, she knew, like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, she got a whole life ahead of her, and I think it'll be fine, you know. I was like, do you have any pictures? And she was like, oh, do I have pictures? And then she showed me pictures of her brand new grandbaby, and it was incredibly sweet. We just sat there at the gate. I didn't even mention to her that I had been at this airport for 32 hours. And she was showing me pictures of her grandbaby. It was incredible. I just think that a lot of things could be missed out on, you know, with this robot, because even the duties, even the stuff that it's supposed to do, that's stuff that would be great to do with your people. You want this thing to cook for you or whatever, why don't you invite your friends over, you have a meal together. That's a memory. Now you're not like laying in front of the TV waiting for this robot to finish. A robot, by the way, that if it came down to some nuts in the dish, because even in the product rollout, they had this, I guess they had this journalist ask the questions we would ask. And so one of the questions was, well, how do I know, you know, you say this robot can lift whatever, like 150 pounds over its head. How do I know that it's not gonna kill me in my sleep? If you're worried that your black robot is gonna kill you in your sleep, do you know? I'll tell you right now. I'm not a scientist. I'm not into tech like that. I'm not an engineer. I don't. The number one way to not have your black robot kill you in your sleep is to not have a black robot in your house at all.
I've been thinking about this a lot. I think as guys, right? Like as men, I do think that we're like too confident in our ability. That's the end of the sentence. There's just like, as human dudes, there's no other species of male in anything. You could be a gazelle. A male, like gazelle. Do they make male gazelle? Anyway, you could be a male gazelle There's no random day where you're gonna look at a lion and be like, he looked like he wanna fight. Like this shit. Do you know what I mean? You know how every other male sees like an order to the world and functions in it? We're the only ones. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're the only ones. Maybe a female gazelle might fight a lion, and that's if the lion's already attacking her child. You know, she might step up, and even then, it's like 30%. So like, there's just an order to nature. I was hanging out with a friend. Turns to me, unprovoked. I had said nothing, and he goes, "You think you could fight a bear?" And I was like, what? No. It's the quickest no. No. It's a bear. You didn't ask me about a cub. In the scenario you given me, a bear wants to fight me. And I'm gonna fight the bear and win? Like, no. And I asked him, I was like, do you think you could fight a bear? And he was like, well, if I came at it right. I'm like, don't even finish the sentence. If I came at it right. What are you saying right now? If I came at it right. That's the crazy. According to experts, the only way to come at it is to pretend to already be dead. What do you mean if the bear came at you like a bear, you would die. I would bet money on it. That's crazy. And then he got irate with me. He got all defensive, started attacking me. He was like, so you would just let a bear kill you? I'm like, what are we talking about? What do you mean, let a bear? It's a bear. You picked a bear. You didn't even pick something I might have a chance against, like a stray cat. You went straight to bear. Do you think you can fight a bear? Oh, you just gonna let a bear kill you? Look, if I went home, if this is how confident I am a bear would kill me, I don't go where bears are. You don't catch me anywhere out in the world where the bears will be. In fact, if there was a bear when I went home in my apartment, that's a bear's apartment now. And I'm good with that. I'm willing to let that bear have my couch. That's fine. Everything in the fridge is his now. Crazy. Crazy talk. And look, I'm not acting like there isn't a place I could step up. When it comes to bugs, I could be braver. I will say that. When it comes to bugs, I could step up a little bit. Because if a bug is too big, I will take a step back. Just to try to assess what it is. Because sometimes, like, I don't have the best eyes, but sometimes you see like 9 legs or something, you're like, what is that? Before I step on it, what is this? Is it an alien? You know? I remember there was one day, I had a fly in my apartment, and it was the plague of my life. I didn't know how the fly got in my apartment, and it had the loudest wings. It might as well have been bird wings. It was the loudest fly I've ever heard, and it would get like right next to my ear, which was making me flinch. Like it did kind of punk me in a little, because I had the fly swatter ready, and it would be in the ear that was like the flies. So that I would be looking for it, like, and I'd be like, oh. And it was all day. It was all day I was trying to kill it. All, like, top to bottom all day. And then it was so gross, because then I was like hitting myself with the fly swatter, because I was like, at some point, if I swing back, I might catch it. And then it was hitting my ear. So I was beating myself. And then I finally was like, let me just go take a shower, cool off, because I had to go somewhere that night. So I get in the shower, take a shower. I don't know when the fly came in the bathroom. I don't know if it came in through a vent or through the door with me, but then the fly came at me while I was in the shower. Now this is attempted murder, because I am on wet porcelain. cannot mess around right now. If I fall in this shower and I die, and my killer is a fly, and I die like a bad Dr. Seuss. Anyway, I finished my shower. I, swatting him off everything. He's still, and then I open the curtain. It's right there. I'm exhausted. I'm naked. I'm wet. I grab my towel, and I spin my towel, get really tight, right? I don't even care if you believe me. It's one of the proudest days of my life. I spun my towel as hard as I could, and then I popped it at the fly, and right at the end, right at the tip, it popped the fly and killed it. And I'm not gonna lie to you. In that moment, I was like, I think I could fight a bear. I do. I'm just saying, if I had a towel, I have a chance. Okay, look, when I say it, it's not gonna sound true. But believe me, all right? I really thought that when I saw Drake leaks trending, it was gonna be music. I was so sure that it was gonna be music. I was like, stuff leaks all the time. Let's listen to this album before it comes out. And I know a lot of people thought that. I'm not alone. A lot of other people said, they were like, you thought it'd be music too. I was like, yeah, I thought it'd be music. And in case you don't know who Drake is, I don't know how, but in case you don't know who Drake is, he's a rapper. And in case you don't know about the Drake leak, okay. So Drake leak was trending, and then I clicked it, and you just see a lot of Drake. It's a lot of Drake. It's a lot of Drake. It's more Drake than I thought there was Drake. You know what I mean? And I want to be clear about something, okay? Because I know it's weird, but a bad thing happened. Someone's nudes were leaked, and that should never happen. It should truly never happen. Everyone deserves autonomy for their body. I know he's like a rich man, so it's easier to let it slide, and it's different. It feels different, at least, when it's like a woman's nudes. But still, he didn't want that out there, and it's out there, which is a shame. So I felt very conflicted, because I was like, that's a shame that somebody would do that, And then on the other hand, I was like, all right, but no more sad songs. I don't... You know what I mean? If I had a friend that was built like Drake, I would never let him cry to me. About anything. I'm not gonna lie. It would always be burned in my brain. I'd be like, hey, everybody daddy dies sometimes, okay? Cheer up and look down. I read this report that they want to NASA's trying to make contact, with some intelligent life, and we really tried everything. We tried so many different things, and we haven't just spent billions of dollars. If you count every country that's had success leaving the atmosphere, going into space, we've spent trillions of dollars as a people. It's an endeavor that's been as old as the ages to make contact and make sure, or at least find out that we're not alone in the entire universe, right? So they send out signals. They've used radio waves. They've used light, images, everything that they can think of. Every telescopic endeavor's been tried. And so now NASA, I'm not even kidding, you can look this up. NASA's like, we gon' send nudes. We're gonna send nudes out in this because that might do it. You know what I mean? It's like, that's a big deal. We have not tried that yet. We've been out here sending old 1920s radio wave. I don't know, my baby. Like, we've tried all that stuff and it didn't do anything. So let's send nudes and see. Wouldn't it be wild if it worked though? Wouldn't it be crazy if like a month later, aliens landed and they were like, titties is all you had to say? I mean, if we had known that there were titties, that we would have come. It feels, you know what I mean? Like, just say you're out of ideas. Smartest minds in the world. Smartest ones on the planet. And they're like, maybe this feels weird. And I know what I said before, and I meant that. But since they're already out, maybe send the Drake link, maybe, I don't know. And look, not out of context. Send a copy of Take Care. And send the Drake video and just see what the aliens think. They might come. They might be like, I also read a report that says that Viagra may lower the risk of Alzheimer's, which is kind of bad news when you think about it. Like, is that really what the world needs? Just a bunch of old men, hard and aware? That as men, we had a pact with the earth. We would wreak havoc for the first 50 years of our lives, and then after a while we'd slow down, we'd get confused, and we would not be hard anymore. That's how you restore balance to the planet. Imagine an evil dude. Because we do this all the time. Being old is supposed to be the saving grace of your life. Especially as a man. As a man, love is very conditional from the world, right? You're born a baby. We all love babies. You become a kid. A lot of people love kids. Then you're a man. And then everyone's like, it's your fault, right? Even if you don't have power, you look like the ones that do. And so it's like, I'll just lump you in, right? Then you get old, and then you getting old is the we can love you again. It's true. You get old, and then people are like, what's he gonna do? We've seen it. We've seen horrible, evil men get old, and somehow all is forgiven. We've watched literal war criminals turn 99, and it's like, well, he's not doing anything now. He's a fucking war criminal. He don't remember, though. Why does that get him a pass? He doesn't remember. Now you just feed him Viagra so they can be evil longer. Literally. We have to stop this. This is crazy.
Mira.